Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, this is a weird episode, I would say. It's a non-typical episode where, well, let's just jump into it. So, when it comes to spoilers, typically those come from a couple different sources. You have WotC-approved spoilers that, go out in the wild through one of their channels, one of their players out there or content creators out there that they'd like to share the card with. Then there's also leaks that happen too, and this is somewhere in between, but with Wizards these days, it's kind of not unexpected, I guess, that something like this would happen where there's confusion around a brand new spoiler that might or might not be a card, really. Okay, let's jump into it. Venture into the dungeon with the Battle for Baldur's Gate draft event. Cool! To celebrate 50 years of D&D. Well, yeah, D&D. There was some jokes out there like, hey, yeah, 50 years since Baldur's Gate came out. That seems like such a long time ago. Yeah, for Magic. Anyways, we're introducing a crossover Magic event with Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Yada, yada, yada. Do you have players in your community seeking more ways to play? Yes. Okay, basically, there's going to be a Battle for Baldur's Gate event at, WPN stores on May 17th through 19th. Cool. I mean, this just would be a standard thing, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll bring back some of the product. People seem to enjoy that set. Great. How does this event work? This is more for the actual, WPN stores, essentially. This kind of information set at the event. Oh, and by the way, venturing into the dungeon. Once players are ready to begin, have each player choose a venture marker of some kind to represent themselves for the duration of the game. Then when players are directed to venture in the dungeon, they'll begin moving through Baldur's Gate Wilderness, the oversized dungeon card you'll have on each table. Okay. All players may also venture this dungeon the first time they cast their commander during the game. So apparently there is a brand new dungeon. Now, this is an oversized card, which typically would mean that it's not legal in formats, though commander is a bit of a weird thing because, the format started off with hey, here's here's precons that have an oversized commander, and you're allowed to play those in your command zone. Also, these kind of dungeon cards, they are, they're outside the game, right? They're not an actual real piece that you actually need to put in your deck. There's no reason that they can't be oversized, essentially. And the reason this is oversized because this has so much text on it, it's ridiculous. Let's get into the card and talk about why this is, well, we'll get to the legality of it here in a little bit. Crash Landing. Search life for a basic land card, reveal, put your hand, then shuffle. I'm sorry if this is too small as well. I might just try to zoom in a little bit further on this. Here we go. All right. Crash Landing. Search life for a basic land card, reveal, put your hand, then shuffle. Goblin Camp. Create a treasure token. Emerald Grove. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token. Or Anti-Stale Scry 3 are your next three options. Again, with dungeons, you pick a path, and then you have to go from that room to the next room, essentially. So if you went in Goblin Camp or Emerald Grove, you can go to File Temple. You may sacrifice a permanent if you do draw a card. Come on, Wizards with the May. Come on. If you're going to go that direction with Goblin Camp, you got to be forced to sacrifice it. You already have the treasure token. Anyways, moving on. Mountain Pass. You put a land card for your hand on the battlefield. The fourth layer, Ebon Lake Grotto. Create 2/1/1 fairies of flying. Fairy dragon creature tokens of flying. Grimforge. For each opponent, go to 1 creature player controls. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that next one. Githyanki Kresh? I just tried. Distribute 3 counters among up to 3 target creatures you control. Next layer, last night in, draw 2 cards. Breathwind, Toll House, roll 2d4, create that many treasure tokens. Wizards, enough with the treasures. Goodness, you have the potential. Sure, you can whiff and get 2 treasures on that, but that's still not terrible. But you could also just get 8. Gross. Moonrise Towers, in source spells you cast turn, cost 3 cast. Gauntlet of Shar, each one loses 5 life. Balthazar's Lab, bring back 2 creature cards from your grave to your hand. Circus Last Days, create tokenless copy of one of your commanders except it's not legendary. Gross. Under City Ruins, create 3/4/1 black skeleton creature tokens with menace. Finally, last layer, some really big ones. Steelwatch Foundry. You get an emblem with creatures you control, get +2/+2 and have trample. So an emblem, have we... Please let me know in the comments. I'm sure I'm missing something. Maybe even I'll just get to it here later in this episode. But have we had something outside of a planeswalker that makes an emblem? Really? Wow. Answer Sanctum. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put them in your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's total mana value. those cards still mana value. So that could just be a game ender right there, revealing some big things off the top. If you got like a Yuriko, I mean, Yuriko plus dungeons really might not be a thing, but you never know. But yes, if you got kind of a Yuriko style deck, we have a lot of high mana value things, and you hit a couple of them off the top, I mean, yeah, you can drain your opponents and then some. Or Temple of Ball, creatures opponents control get -5/-5 until end of turn. So there's a lot here. There are a lot of abilities here, triggers here, but yeah, this is a crazy new potential card. And again, one that it's a bit kind of up in the air as to what in the world is actually going on with it. Let's see this here on Twitter real quick. Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate will be back for in-store events in the US and Canada in May as part of the celebration for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons. Cool. Awesome. All right, then a picture of this and whatever. Someone asking, the article doesn't make it super clear, but this dungeon is only for this event, correct? It doesn't make that clear, and I think that's probably intentional because, well, they don't really know, maybe, because here we go. Yeah. Down to Matt Tabak. Matt Tabak is, again, 1 second, Principal Magic Editor, Wizards of the Coast. So, Matt maybe shouldn't know, I guess. I just learned of this thing today. I'm trying to learn more. Wizards, what are you doing? What is going on? Okay, so again, you have this event. Cool. Yep, got it. But when you're putting something out there, you probably should let everyone know that, like, hey, you know, we only have like 3 dungeons in total in Magic, and well, 4 kind of with the initiative one. But here's a 4th. Is it legal? Who knows? It's the event. Yay, go play the event. So it's very strange. Very, very strange. I mean, when it comes to this kind of a card, though, yeah, there's some potential for it because this is a dungeon with, let me just really count really quick. Hopefully I'm editing this correctly. I'm just showing you jumping back and forth. Maybe I will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of that dungeon. And again, some really heavy hitting things. Let's go back to the other dungeons that we've had in the past. We have 3 of them, and then we have initiative 1, but we'll talk about that. Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, I mean, they do have some pretty big effects. Dungeon Mad Mage is the biggest one that we previously had. I mean, obviously, this has 2 lanes that you can go down, though. And also, I mean, it comes to total choices a lot less. 2 lanes you go down, only 7 layers versus 8 versus, like, the 3 layer, or 3, you know, levels. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on in that other one. But yes, you have some pretty big effects, but like Deep Mines down there at Scry 3 is like the 6th one, and that's like one of the first options of our new one. Also that kind of final one, you know, like, oh cool, draw 3 cards, reveal them, cast 1 for free. That is a big effect. Is that as big as our final effects in the other ones? Probably not. I mean, yeah, that's got some pretty big things on that other one, like, you know, the drain opponents one. Lots of good things. Yeah, that's a pretty big one. We then go to Lost Mine of Phandelver. This one only has 4 layers to it with like 2 lanes essentially. I mean, goes to 3 a little bit, I guess, right there too. But yeah, I mean, only so many options here. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rooms in total versus like you get to 7 rooms in like the first 3 levels of the other one. So pretty crazy. And the final one of this one is, again, draw a card. So yeah, how does that compare to the final one and the other one? Not nearly as good, obviously. I mean, a lot less to get there, obviously. Moving on to Annihilation. This one is quite funny. Very few options, but basically all bad things for many things. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms in total with the big con at the end. Hey, you get a 4/4 with Death Touch. Okay, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like, you know, the best thing in the world. Versus this new one is finally kind of like a finisher dungeon, I would say. One that has, although I will say, okay, technically, like, if you're going infinite with, like, venturing into the dungeon, which there are ways to do so, then, yeah, I mean, this could just take opponents out. This could take you out, too, probably. But the other ones can actually kind of get there, too, I guess, technically, as well. So, like, keep that in mind. That being said, yeah, without Infinite, yeah, this is just a strictly better dungeon than we've seen before. And if you have, say, a, well, Sever's Hidden Ways deck, you might be like, yeah, let's make that thing legal. And again, with Commander, you've got Rule 0, right? Rule 0 is like, hey, okay, everyone just agrees to certain things ahead of time. Like, hey, we're not playing, like, mass land destruction in this game, okay? Or just giant stacks pieces. Also, oh, have you ever been to play a game where it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I've got this silver border commander. Is this okay if I play with this silver border commander in this game? Many players out there are very accommodating, like, absolutely. Or if you got like a commander that should be a commander, like one of the Nephilim, maybe. I mean, Ink Treader, I will warn you, Ink Treader is crazy powerful. But like one of the other ones, essentially, and you're like, hey, like, is it okay if I play this because like it should be legendary, but it's not? Usually players are very accommodating to be like, sure, absolutely, do what you want to do. So with this, I guess, if you have a Sever's Hidden Ways deck and you see this brand new dungeon, you're like, yes, please. Yes, 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 yes. Give me that right now. I guess I should read Sephiroth real quick. 2/3 Human Wizard in Esper colors. Whenever one or more creature cards put in your graveyard from anywhere, venture from the dungeon. This ability triggers only once each turn. There's ways to get around that. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah. I mean, I guess here's the thing with Sephiroth is that the quicker dungeons can work better with Sephiroth, obviously, to bring creatures back out of your graveyard. That being said, you might be incentivized to utilize that big new dungeon, which I'm already forgetting the name of it, but it is absolutely massive in what it does. So being able to, again, every single turn, potentially, again, whenever one creature from your grave from anywhere, so like if you mill, you sacrifice a creature, whatever you're doing, venture into the dungeon. Also, again, if you can reset this, by blinking or whatnot to do it again and again and again, then essentially you can complete those dungeons pretty quickly and get a ton of value out of them. I mean, another one that I brought up recently in a couple of episodes, Zalto Fire Giant Duke. I love this card. This card's hilariously amazing, and it doesn't see much play at all. 7/3 trampling, whatever to sell damage venture in the dungeon. Yeah, but doing like a Tim deck on this, maybe some indestructibility on it, or just pumping its toughness, essentially. You can do a lot of crazy things with this. And also, if you make it indestructible and you put that one equipment on it, it can go infinite. So you mention the dungeon again, again, again. Of course, that will win you the game with, many of the dungeons, but including the new dungeon, I'm sure. Yeah, it would, I guess, because you just keep drawing cards. As long as you have cards in your library that have enough CMC to drain your opponents, you'd get there, right? Regardless, yeah, there's some really cool things that you can do with dungeons, and if you have a dungeon deck, most likely Sephiroth is the most popular one out there, you're probably like, yeah, I would like this new dungeon to be a thing. So, we'll see, I guess. Again, it's very weird. It's very, very weird. I guess I should mention really quick, too. There is that Undercity one, but that one specifically says at the top, you can't enter this dungeon unless you venture into Undercity. The new one doesn't actually say anything like that. There's not like, hey, oh no, only initiative works with this. And I just want to say, like, I found this whole Undercity thing to be very weird. Initiative to be weird. Like, no, this dungeon's, like, locked unless you do this specific thing. Yeah, I mean, I understood, like, the premise of it, but it's also just kind of weird in the way that went about it. Anyways. Yeah. I mean, it's just very strange. This is, like, one of the strangest things I've seen where you have parts of Wizards not really... You like, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, kind of, at some point, where it's like, hey, all these things are happening, and, yeah, you on the outside, you're probably confused as well, but we're confused on the inside, too. Yeah, so again, yes, this is an oversized card. Can you make a proxy of it? Yeah, absolutely. You could do that probably right now. You could literally just go to this website. I'll link this in the description below. You could literally just put this in and print it and then put it in a sleeve, on top of an actual Magic card. And you're like, cool, let's just, today, you could play with this as a dungeon if your playgroup is okay with that. That being said, it'll be interesting to see what, I don't know if the rules committee's involved in this at all, really, when it comes to, like, is this legal in Commander? They should be, in my opinion. And, like, if I was them, like, what's the point in saying it's not? What is the point in saying it's not? Like, it's not, it's powerful. Compared to the other dungeons, it's not overpowered in any way. It's a card that Wizards made themselves. It's not like a custom, Magic the Gathering card, from, what is it, MTG Custom, where it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, but, oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing. But, like, it's easier for players to argue against utilizing those, obviously. But when it comes to this kind of card, Wizards made it. They're making it for an event. Are they just trying to drive more people to that event by not saying if this is going to be legal or not, essentially? Maybe. I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange, again, that, like, people inside of Wizards don't even know what is going on with this. The first time that they've seen it. So, if I had to lean on one side or the other, oh, goodness. I'm going to go 65% chance that this is legal. 35% chance it's not. Again, it's going to be a card where it's like, it's hard for them to say that this is overpowered, so it shouldn't be legal. But again, they're probably going to be like, well, oversized cards technically aren't legal. It's like, well, you made a bunch of oversized commanders that players play with all the time, essentially. It was like, well, we also gave them the regular size version of that. I understand that. But, like, could they just start including, like, a card like this in, like, the list or whatever, just to be like, hey, we have regular size versions. Cool, it's legal. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I find it interesting. I hope it's legal because, again, like, dungeons, I think, need more support. Giving them another really cool dungeon. This is a very cool dungeon. Again, you got a lot of cool things that you can do with it. A lot of powerful effects with it. Not overpowered, though. Baldur's Gate Wilderness is the name of it, by the way. I can't remember that. Regardless, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think is going to be happening with this? Do you want it to be legal for some reason? Do you not want to be legal for some reason? What do you think is going to be the end result of this? And, yeah, it's just, again, it's a very strange situation. It's like, again, somewhere between, like, a WotC approved spoiler and, like, a leak in a way, because it's like, what is going on with this card? Is it an actual thing? Is it not? So yeah, if you're a Sephiroth player out there, let me know in the comments how excited you are about this potentially. And again, here's the thing at the end of the day, rule 0, right? And it's kind of a bad thing to lean back on, right? Where it's like, well, we can just rule zero this, we can rule zero that. It is kind of a bad thing to kind of lean on all the time, because then that's justification for some, decisions being made or not being made, because like, well, you can just rule zero that. But still, again, at the end of the day, I mean, if you have a deck that, is big on dungeons, and I'm sure you're excited about this, then talk to your playgroup. Like, just talk to your playgroup. And I'm sure, again, by tonight, you could literally just make a proxy of this and play with it. You don't have to even wait for that event to come out, essentially, to maybe see if you can get that oversized version of it, essentially. Regardless, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on all this. Again, I'll try to remember to include the article in the description below. But regardless, as always, whether it's, spoilers or leaks or whatever this is, make sure you're staying tuned to this channel. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.